was on the Daily Beast and I came across an article shedding some light on an area of Reddit that I had not been familiar with. You can take a look at the front page of the article here, titled, "Why These Men Are Risking It All to Grow Bigger Dicks." This is actually a big and growing thing. Sorry, I should have worded that differently. On Reddit, it's /r/gettingbigger. And it is a rapidly growing subreddit of men who are willing to risk it all, quite literally, to grow the size of their penis. And look, you cannot talk about this without joking around. I've already proven that. But to them, it is very serious. And they are, in some cases, I think, feeling a lot of pressure. They're feeling very down. And so I wanted to just show you a little bit of what was revealed about this and my own experience heading over to that subreddit and taking a look. So one individual named Miguel says he was profiling how he had used some like a heavy weighted thing that stretches out your penis for hours and hours a day, and says, if I'm at home working and I'm not doing it, I feel like I'm wasting my time because I could be stretching. I get the shakes if I don't do it. So he is one of many that sort of like talks about it in a way that makes it seem as if they're addicted to the process, but they're often quite defensive about that. He's one of just 62,500 who already subscribed to it. It's tripled since last year, a rate of growth that will make it one of the biggest subreddits on the platform if its expansion steadily continues. I don't think anyone expects that it can grow to that extent. I think that was an excuse to use the idea of expansion steadily continuing and a thing about getting bigger. But anyway, one man on the platform claims that he gained a total of 2 inches after hanging 40 pounds of weight from his penis, although notably he had not provided any evidence of this. But aside from just the extra length, many of them are saying, look, I'm not saying, I'm laughing only because it's a funny topic.
John,
these are serious people and we should not be mocking them.
He provided no evidence of this.
Well, he didn't show like the process or anything. So those active in the community believe that the techniques offer mental health benefits that outweigh and are entirely separate from the end goal of permanently extending their penis. One, Benjamin Clark says, you start looking a little better in the mirror, you feel a little better about yourself. It's not so much of an addiction, it's the satisfaction that comes from it. Bear in mind that he has been selling his own penis enlargement contraption, a penis stretcher and weight hanging device called the Male Hanger, for the last 11 years. So there are many people on this, tens of thousands who they feel like they don't measure up. They feel like they need to get bigger to be able to compete in the marketplace of dating, I guess. And so look, it's obviously it's a funny topic, but for them it is very serious. With all that said, what do you think?
First of all, I thought you was gonna use a different D word in that marketplace of dating line that you used. Second of all, this is all the proof you need to know that the internet is making us stupider. It's pulling us apart. It's not bringing us closer as a species. If these guys would literally just talk to any women at all, they would know this is not a thing. They're getting their information from pop culture. They're getting their information from porn. They are not talking to actual people, because if they talk to people, they talk to women specifically, no woman would be saying, oh my God, there's all these guys that I would otherwise be obsessed with, but they have these tiny, eensy, weensy, little peasy penises. Like, nobody's saying that. Nobody feels that way. Nobody believes this. They just gotta go out and connect with people. Connect with people who aren't on Reddit crying about their penis size. I promise you, you will learn that you are fine. It's just craziness, dude.
I agree. Look, I feel like, at least in so far from what I've seen from this community, it seems different from some of the other very
John, they're pulling at their junks.
No, again, what I'm saying is so far they don't seem to be hurting anyone other than themselves. So I do feel bad for them. I think you're right. I feel like they're caught between these, I think, mostly unfounded fears that this is a big issue. And then they watch a lot of porn where like the 6 biggest guys in the country at any given point are the only ones they ever see. Guys who, by the way, are literally injecting things into their penis before they perform.
These guys don't know. Those porn guys are getting help, John.
Yeah, like how do they think it's real? But they do think it's real. And so that drives them sort of crazy. And by the way, I'm gonna jump ahead just slightly. So I went to the subreddit and I saw, it's very busy, by the way. There's a lot of posts. I saw one post that was titled, "How can I get over the fact that my ex-girlfriend cheated on me with a 6'5" man that has a larger penis?" First of all, I don't know how he even knows that the guy does have a larger penis. But that's the sort of fear that I think drives a lot of this, either from actually having an experience like that or just thinking that you might. And so again, while I joke about the topic, I'm not trying to take the piss out of like any of the individual people there or whatever. Like I do feel bad for them, especially because as you can read more about this in the Daily Beast, there are some serious side effects of doing this. First of all, one of the serious side effects is not generally a longer penis, because that's not actually how penises work. Like you weighing, like doing 40 pounds isn't like, there's no evidence that that actually does anything. And this is just a more extreme version of like people who think they have to drink a certain thing or take a certain pill. Man, if there was a pill that doubled the size of your penis, do you think you'd be finding out about it in the back or like at the checkout of 7-Eleven or the back of shady magazines? It would be everywhere. So like, but again, it's all the pressure, but they are hurting themselves. A lot of men post on this subreddit pictures of their purple bruised penises that have darkened from using penis pumps, friction burns. Some say they have nerve damage or lost sensation that lasts for months. One, Miguel, the guy we talked about earlier, said because of the vacuum, which he uses, you develop this big ass blister. I actually have a bit of a scar from one. You're talking about potentially lifelong damage in the pursuit of something that probably nobody cares about. And so this is a community that I think needs an outside perspective. I wish some women would flood in there and just reassure these guys that this is not a thing that they should risk destroying their genitals over. Any final thoughts, Waz? Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? Like this stuff kind of explains itself. This is lunacy. This is sad. This is the internet.
Yeah. Some people said they got so uncomfortable from what we were describing that theirs pulled back into their abdomen. Too much information from the audience.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.